Alright, we started the teardown process on the GTE. Won't film too much of it because you'll just watch me tear down the GE, and it's the same stuff, just, you know, with a turbo. So we'll get the rest of this thing pulled apart. We have some parts to come in. We ordered everything we needed for it, I do believe. Nothing really performance upgradey, just getting it back in the car and getting it going.
Overnight parts from Japan.
It was like Lakeland.
3 weeks out and they're right down the road.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Here we go. Considering this thing's never been apart before, this turbo is wedged. So the top bolts come out. The bottom ones come out just fine. But if you see the rust build up on this one, I had to pry it from around it. Well, on the bottom corner, the one directly below that, it's doing the exact same thing. It is stuck. I've been hammering on it here for a minute, so we'll see what happens. Alright, it fought a lot, but I got it off. There's just a lot of crud around this bolt. I just had to rock it back and forth, and I finally got it to let go. So I'm going to get the head bolts out, pull some heater hoses off here and there, and lift the head with the plenum up all at once. Just a few things unbutton over here that we can leave the harness on it. You guys ever seen one of these that wasn't cracked? I've always just had 7Ms with like just wires hanging across. So we're going to get that off and then put the block around. I'm going to pull that piston out and get a look at the cylinder walls, see how good we're looking, how good we're not looking. Hopefully they're okay. I got a little honing tool down in there if I got to. I'll call them little dingleberries, just meow, meow. But on to the next thing. You guys check it out. There's no head left on it, and I pulled the bad rod out. Yay! So that's gone. Me and Frank managed. It's pretty light. I mean, you got two people helping. We pulled everything off together, left the harness on the intake and everything. Just made it easy, you know, man things. So get this surface cleaned up. This is the rod that was bad on number 3. You can see how it got really hot. See how black that is? Don't know why. I'm gonna clean all the oil valley and stuff out, get everything really clean, and use one of those rods over there, which is a NA rod, and I'm gonna put this piston on that rod, and we're gonna call it good. We're gonna be happy. Get the crank bearings in Friday, mains, new thrust washers. Get this all cleaned up and get it painted, make it look nice. I get this cover off still at the front, clean it all up. I'm gonna do a lot of cleaning and try and do everything in my power not to break those 2 knock sensors because they cost as much as the car did. Alright, we're currently at a standstill on the block, just waiting for the rest of the parts to get here. I've taken all the oil squirters out one by one and cleaned them, blew them out, did all the journals the best I could, got everything metal particulate free, I do hope. Still gonna flip the block upside down and give it a good like spray, you know, and clean out with stuff. I got the rod, the donor rod put on the turbo piston. It is right there, it is ready to go. And the fuel pump come in. So we got the Walbro 450 on here. The tank is sealed. I just did a gas test. I put some fuel in it, let it sit for about 30 minutes. Want to make sure it wasn't bleeding any of that red tank coat onto the fuel. Everything is good there, so we're going to reassemble the gas tank, get it pressure washed and cleaned up, painted, as we wait for parts. Alright, well, okay. Come in this morning, found the honing tool. I got the cylinder hone, the one that I just wanted to replace the piston rod in. And there we go. All the pistons are inserted and connected. Everything looks good and clean. Now we're going to get the block cleaned up, getting it painted hopefully this afternoon. Get all this dirt and debris and stuff off. We'll pick the bearings up and we'll continue to build. You guys, in my bit of excitement, now I didn't even think about it. I picked up none of the camera. I got all the bearings in. It's completely assembled. Thrust washers are in the right spot. Main bearings, new rod bearings, and new rods installed like I showed. And this puppy right here is good to go. She rolls, she spins easy, it looks nice. So this is very exciting for me because now we have a good block 7M. It is ready to go. Alright, we're waiting for a gasket set to come in, and we're going to do final assembly and get everything else thrown on it. Got to clean the head up and all that stuff, but we're about to have us a running super, guys. This is going to be a 7M GTE. Happy Dave. Alright guys, I got the valve cover cleaned up and painted. The engine block is completely cleaned up and painted, and I painted the fuel tank, but it did fall over, so a lot of sticks got stuck to it. But this thing is assembled, and we're about to set the head back on there. I got the old cheap head gasket. Been kind of cheap on it, boys, just so we can make sure this thing's going to be okay. I think it will be. But we're going to get it snapped together. Alright guys, it's Monday, right? Y'all seen a little update on getting the block and everything painted up and finished. And my parts didn't come in for the vehicles I'm working on today, so it was all 7M day. Head's torqued, she's in town. Waiting on some valve cover gaskets to come in. Yeah, mount the turbo and everything back up, but we're one step closer to having this thing back on the road and spanking Civics. Hey Frank, what'd that car behind you do?
The car behind me?
Yeah, G37 did it not.
He got me a time or two. I won't talk about it though.
Hey, but yours ain't knocking. Alright guys, I gotta get to work.
Alright, right here. Drop in the comment section. When he gets this back in the car, how many do you think I'm gonna get him by? Like 5?
I'm gonna say 6.
I won't. Y'all comment and tell me. K24 A2 Civic hybrid. That doesn't mean that it has an electric motor in the front and the back and all that good stuff. It just means it's a Frankenstein versus this.
Word on the street in Thomasville from the haters is it's just a
It's just TSX.
just a full TSX swap, nothing else. We hadn't done anything to it, it's just bone stock. So
But we like to lie.
yeah,
say that
we're lying. We're lying. Haters in the building.
Ask your mom in that Camry.
Yeah.
Captain.
Alright guys, last piece of the puzzle finally come in. We got these nice valve cover gaskets. I forgot to order these last week. This is how a valve cover gasket should look. Rubber, pliable. That's what was on it. Hard, petrified. Been scared to death of sitting in that field for 27 years. So we're going to get these gaskets on, get the power steering pump bolted up, lay the harness over it, and then it is in the car. The next scene you see, this engine will be in the engine bay, no transmission, but start plugging up the harness. We are this close.
That close.
That close.
These right here also work as boomerangs. Look.
It didn't come back. Just like a boomerang.
Trying to find David. Where'd David go? I think he's in his car. What the fuck is he doing? What are you doing?
Just making sure the mirrors are working. That way I know like how far Randall is behind me. That's all. And I'll show you guys something kind of exciting. Frank's air hammering on something or whatever. Alright, so I had to push it out this morning. But look at that. Look at that. Just look at it. I did a little cleanup on the pipes and the intake manifold. Not really great. And I still gotta clean the turbo up and the throttle body. You know, not a big deal. But it's in there. Look, it's in there. And harness is connected. I gotta push it back in this afternoon. Currently Friday. I'm gonna push it back in, and then we will get the transmission in, get the fuel tank thrown back in, get some good oil in it, good antifreeze, good 93 octane fuel, and then bam, she's gonna be running. But I'm beyond excited about how this looks in there. It's starting to look good again. Alright builders, transmission's in, motor's in, completely bolted, transmission's in. I gotta do the drive shaft, get the downpipe and exhaust hooked back up. I know it's a little dark, you probably can't see, but that was a pain in the ass. Not only for how you gotta do the pressure plates on these, but that top starter bolt on these 7Ms are such a mofo. But it is late, it's dinner time. I'm about to head to the house. Going to be back first thing in the morning and endure the cold ass weather to get my Super to crank up for the first time. Plus I had to get me a fuel filter. They sent the one back that I already paid for some reason. So get the fuel filter on, throw the tank up in the morning, bring some good premium with me, and yeah, we'll be ready to rock and roll. Alright guys, it is the next day. This is Saturday. And off camera I did install drive shaft, exhaust. I got the engine dampener thing put on there, just kind of buttoning up all the stuff underneath here. Damn, I forgot clamps. Alright, so what I got to do now, or what I just went and got also, is the supplies that I thought I needed, but I forgot clamps, as you heard me just say. So what I got is, we have gasoline. I got about 5 gallons of nice 93 premium. We're going to put in there. Somehow, amazingly, I didn't dump that thing over when I was getting here, because it's a few miles away. Still have to install the fuel tank, and let's see what we got here. All right, Whataburger for breakfast. So fuel filter, gear oil, and then I got a little thing of braking parts cleans. I did need that. Can't believe I forgot the clamps. I went to go back to the store. But gear oil for the transmission, fuel for the tank, some braking parts cleaners to clean a few things up that I got a problem with, and the fuel filter, because that one I'm quite sure is the original from 1989. So let's get the rest of this crap underway. All right, after that little hiccup, finally got the hose clamps that I need so I can get this intercooler pipe put on. I don't know if you guys can see that. No, it's not really hanging out on your line of view. But I just needed one for that. Hopefully that goes small enough. And yeah. And I'll plumb up the rest of them that I need. Let's make it happen. Alright, here's the update, guys. It looks like an engine. Everything is assembled and ready to go. After we get some vacuum line from O'Reilly's. I had a piece yesterday, the day before yesterday. I can't remember. I'm terrible at remembering where things are. But I got to repair this one. That goes down. It's real dry and brittle and broke. And then the one from this tube here to the blow-off valve, I got to get hooked up. We'll add some oil, throw the computer in it, and just spin it over, build oil pressure up. Then we'll install the fuel filter, the fuel tank, put some gas in it, fire it up. Hopefully we have no knocks. Fingers crossed. Check it out. It is 100% a complete car again. We have a good fuel tank in there for the Walbro 450. I tried to paint it. If you kind of see the leaves and stuff in it, it failed when I got it painted. And I didn't feel like redoing it. That's my lazy part, but it's in there. I'm about to let the car down, throw this fresh fuel I got right there into it. I've already spun the motor over and primed it up. Made sure the oil pressure gauge went up, and it is working. The oil pressure went up where I feel happy about starting it. Let's get some fuel in this bad boy and see if it's going to start. Alright guys, it's kind of being a turd. I've been spinning on it for about 10-15 minutes now, and we're picking up more and more cylinders. Had a lot of oil down in each of the cylinders, and I think that's causing a lot of the problems. Injectors might be a little stuck. I don't know. Hey, you guys remember Josh? Josh?
What up?
I ain't got. And look what it is. It's the Lexus. He's the one that bought it.
So pretty.
Isn't it pretty? Yeah, we got rid of that to get this. Yeah, two-tone. It's the only two-tone SC300 I've ever seen. All right, we're gonna keep plugging away. Starter's wanting to be a bitch. I may or may not have it a little warm. There we go. It's trying, guys. It's trying. Alright guys, we got the fire up. But a piece of rat's nest, and also right here, I blew that clear Josh's shit. Alright. Now that he's moved, we're gonna crank it back up. Ooh, she's still a little hard. gotta put some power steering fluid in it. Alright, all that hard start BS, here you go. It's burning all the smoke and oil and crap off of it. Power steering pump's got a little bit of air in it, but you guys, the Super is alive. You have to not be happy. This motor sounds really, really, really good. I'm gonna let it run and burn some of this crap off. I shot an acorn at Josh as well. Alternator's putting out really good. I'm happy. And that's gonna do it for this episode of Build One More. I gotta say, I'm more than excited. This car runs fantastic. It's very, very quiet. I gotta get the brakes bled, and then in the next video we'll go on the first drive. We'll see how this thing drives for the first time after 27 years sitting in a field. I can't wait to get it painted. It's gonna look beautiful. Now that it's running, SNR motoring, it's up to you. Get your harness on. Let's do this.